I'm joined today by Tim Caulfield, who's a Canada Research Chair in Health Law and Policy and a professor in the Faculty of Law and School of Public Health at the University of Alberta, also author of the book, The Cure for Everything. Tim, I have so much to talk to you about involving bogus diet claims, bad science, fitness programs, etc. And it's sort of difficult to pick a specific point where we can jump in. So let's sort of work backwards. When I read about health claims, exercise regimens, diets, etc., I become more convinced that the best path forward is eat a balanced diet with limited processed foods and exercise frequently and in sort of varied ways. All of the research you've done, how can we synthesize the impression I'm coming away with?
I think we're done our interview because you're exactly right. All the evidence supports exactly what you said. I always have like a handful of things I say that people should do that will take them 95% of the way to a healthy lifestyle. So the evidence-based, science-based stuff that will take them 95% of the way to a healthy lifestyle. So, you don't smoke. That's the big one. You exercise, get some real exercise, active living, right? You eat a balanced diet. And there's really no magic there. And that's the funny thing is because people are always trying to inject magic, right? But there is no magic. Lots of fruits and vegetables, whole grains, healthy proteins. All the evidence tells us that all these other kinds of diets, long term, don't really make a big impact on our health or our weight loss. So, yeah, I think you've kind of hit the nail on the head.
So let's break down a few of the ways that people sometimes think they can make really big changes to their both weight and health. The first is when we see a diet advertised that says you will lose weight by eating our particular type of food, right? Sometimes it's shakes,
Right.
sometimes it's meal replacement bars, et cetera, et cetera. What is the sort of analysis that the average person can do broadly to think about whether a particular diet or food is going to be having a positive or negative or no impact whatsoever on their health?
So if you're talking weight loss, and as you pointed out there, that's often, even if it's not the explicit goal, that's often the real goal. Even when you're talking about detoxes and juicing and all that kind of thing, 80% of it is often weight loss. So I always start with this this baseline. Nothing works. That's the baseline. And if you go back through history, that's a good starting point. I mean, can you name, try it. Can you name a trendy diet or new food or superfood or some kind of regimen that has been shown to work long term other than the basic diet that we outlined? Can you
Right. I
name
mean,
one?
I was going to say eating vegetables, but I guess is that
Yeah,
really a
that's
superfood?
right.
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, and to be fair, the only kind of diet that has clinical evidence to support it is the Mediterranean diet, and I guess the DASH diet too, which was a sort of a variation on that. And that's basically what we just described, right? Lots of fruits and vegetables, whole grains, healthy proteins, etc. So everything else beyond that, just assume it doesn't work. And I think that should be the starting point for everyone, for all the consumers out there. And then I always also suggest wait for a body of evidence to emerge on these topics. It's really, really hard to study nutrition. So if there's one study that says, I don't know, eating kale will make you live longer, wait for a body of evidence to emerge because, who knows where that data came from and how it was developed. As I said, it's really hard to do good nutrition research.
So fitness programs in the context of diet. Many fitness programs talk only about fitness and whatever exercises or an electronic belt that stimulates your abs or whatever the case may be.
That's right.
When we think about weight loss in terms of exercise versus diet, a lot of those exercise programs seem to imply that the exercise is going to be mostly responsible for any weight loss. But is that accurate, or is it overwhelmingly diet that is
No.
responsible for weight loss?
Yeah. So two things going on there. Again, you've nailed it. Weight loss is almost entirely calories in, right? It's almost entirely your diet. Now, there is studies that show that exercise is part of a lifestyle that allows you to maintain weight, so it's important for weight maintenance. I'm not really sure what's going on there. It might be correlation, right? A healthy lifestyle also includes exercise, but in general, you're right. Exercise alone is not, in general, an effective way to lose weight. There's a whole bunch of reasons for that. One, your appetites increase. Number two, people greatly overestimate the amount of calories they burn when they exercise. Number three, there's some compensation behavior going on. I don't know if you do this, I do it. You have a really big workout and you go, I'm going to have those chips now. I earned it. You've probably completely negated any kind of calorie burn that may have happened as a result of exercise. And it's really hard to maintain a calorie deficit through exercise alone. So you have that going on. But the other interesting thing I love about this topic, or I find frustrating about this topic, is this whole idea of the spot reduction myth. Do you know what I mean?
That was going to be my next question. Let me set that up then, because now that we understand that the diet is more responsible for weight loss than exercise, let's dig in a little bit to types of exercise. What does science say about, number one, whether you can sort of tone or target particular areas of the body? If you have, for example, a beer belly you want to get rid of. And number two, what does science say about the weight loss impact and health benefit of, for example, aerobic exercise versus weightlifting, as an example?
Okay, so the first question, as I said, I find this really frustrating. And we've actually thought about trying to quantify the amount of space that myth takes up in the fitness industry. Because I mean, think about it. The number of products, number of magazine covers, the number of books that are about toning particular parts of your body, sexy abs and, having toned arms for your wedding or you name it, right? It's biologically impossible. That's the bottom line. You can't tone a particular part of your body. Yes, you can get your muscles stronger there, but in order to have those kind of sexy abs, to have your muscles showing, which is really what we're talking about, you got to lose a whole bunch of weight. That's sort of the bottom line. I have this slide I use when I'm giving talks. It's kind of funny, and I show all these really cut, sexy abs, and they're all rock stars that were heroin addicts at the time, like Sid Vicious, right? It's all about having an incredibly lean body, fat. So that's a myth, right? So ignore that. And the other thing I don't like about that is it emphasizes aesthetics, right? Appearance, and you should be working out to achieve these kind of appearance goals when, again, studies show if that's your goal, you're less likely to do it long term. You're less likely to be happy with the outcome. You should really be doing it for intrinsic goals. It makes you feel good. You like the fact that it's getting you healthy. So then what kind of exercise should you be doing? And this is more complicated because I think that all exercise is good. Active living is awesome. If you found something that you enjoy doing, keep doing it, and that's fantastic. But if you're just talking about pure straight up efficiency, right? All exercise is really about adaptation. So breaking down your muscles, breaking down your system and having it build up stronger, right? So I think the best data says, and again, it's hard to get, accumulate a body of knowledge here, but I think it's interval training, right? So that's your aerobic exercise is interval training. So that's going hard for a period of time, resting hard for a period of time. And then I also think that weight training is often underplayed, how important it is. Now, that's starting to shift. Even since I wrote for The Cure for Everything, I think the importance of resistance training is starting to be recognized more and more, particularly for elder people. But I think it's still underemphasized. In fact, when I was researching the book and I asked all these experts, if you could do one exercise, what would it be? And almost everyone said, a few people said the interval workouts, intense interval workouts, but a few said an intense resistance training workout. So, working out with real weights intensely over a period of time.
Let's talk a little bit about detoxes, cleanses, colonics, eating clay, right? All this type of stuff with the idea that every once in a while you want to sort of cleanse your body, empty the body of toxins, etc. Proponents say it's natural, it's healthy to clean out the body in a world of processed foods and toxins and pollution, etc. Good to press the reset button. But is there actually any evidence, scientific evidence, that says there's a benefit to doing these things?
Yeah, again, a topic I love because I don't have to equivocate here. I don't have to pull any punches. There's no evidence to support this massive industry, and it's a growing industry. I once did just a couple days ago, I did a Google Trends mapping the word dieting against cleansing and detoxing.
Right.
And dieting's going down and cleansing and detoxing is going up. And I think it's exactly what you said. There's this idea of purification. The idea of dieting is going out of favor. It's almost vain, and it's not about health, and it's bad for body image. So everyone's talking about detoxing and cleansing. No evidence to support it at all. You've got organs in your body that do that for you, number one. Number two, there's no evidence that the proposed regimens will actually detox your body. But there's no evidence to support the idea that this, whatever the product is going to work. And number three, there's this myth about these toxins residing in your body. Now, I'm not pro-toxin, don't get me wrong, but it's often portrayed that they are somehow residing in your body, and if you do this regimen, you're going to flush them out, and you're going to feel better, you're going to have more energy, you're going to lose weight faster. That's often the pitch. Nothing to support that.
Last thing I want to talk about, and this is really a big thing now, gluten-free, okay? I have friends who are gluten-free. I have a cousin who actually has celiac disease, and the differences between my gluten-free friends and my cousin who has celiac are stunning. And I recently read that the main study saying non-celiac gluten sensitivity or allergy is a thing was reattempted, and it seems there may not be such a thing. So what does the evidence say about, is the gluten-free thing a trend? How do you talk to people who say, no, listen, I stopped eating gluten and I feel great?
Yeah, there's a lot of passion around gluten-free. Am I right? I mean, you hear it all the time, and I even get a little bit of gluten-free hate mail.
Yeah.
And it's incredible how people have embraced this. I actually thought it would start to peter out sooner than it has, but it seems to be going strong. So there's no evidence that going gluten-free is a good diet decision. And again, studies say that a lot of people do it because they think they're going to lose weight. No evidence to support that. There's also no evidence that going gluten-free is more healthy. It's so inherently more healthy, right? It's not a more healthy diet. On the contrary, it can be less healthy because sometimes gluten-free foods have more salt and more sugar, etc. So it's not sort of inherently healthier. But then the third category, and this is the controversial one you just touched on, is that non-celiac gluten sensitivity. And the data is kind of all over the place on it. I think the best data suggests that it may not be a thing. It may be placebo. It may be also nocebo. So people are believing that they're having adverse effects as a result of eating gluten. The best studies have been, there's one done in Australia that was actually a double-blind crossover study. And they found no non-celiac gluten sensitivity. Another one from Italy found a little bit, but much less than sort of popular culture would suggest. And this most latest one, I think you're probably referring to, had to do with athletes using it. Again, found no non-celiac gluten sensitivity. Now, I suspect if we could go forward 20 years from now, we're going to find a small percentage of the population, so about 1% have celiac, and I think another small percentage, 1%, 2%, 3%, maybe have some kind of sensitivity we have yet to identify. But there's no way that sensitivity justifies this huge industry that has blossomed over the last couple of years.
All right, Tim Caulfield, I don't know if I will get more hate mail from the gluten discussion or from the exercise discussion or from the diet discussion, but I'm sure that we will get it. And I'll remind everybody, the book is The Cure for Everything, and so great to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.